What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to part 5 of the Getting Started with React series. And where we left off last time, we were talking about mapping components, and we mapped out this card component with different names. And so in this part, we're going to talk about state. State is basically how we hold data in different ways in React, and it's probably one of the most interesting concepts in React. So we're going to talk about state, and we're going to talk about hooks. So let's get straight into it. So firstly, I'm just going to delete some of our old code for the mapping. So I'm just going to delete this mapping code because we don't really need it and it's in the way. I'm going to leave the importing of the data from data.js still in here because we're probably going to use it later on. But I'll just delete the code for now. So the first thing is, what are hooks? So if you guys don't already know, React has two types of components, functional components and class-based components. Class-based components were originally created, and functional components were created later on with hooks. And so the React team kind of prefers functional components and plans on eventually deprecating class-based components. Functional components have these hooks to allow them to use certain features like state and re-renders. Re-renders with use effects specifically. So all hooks start with the word use, and so it's always like use state, use ref, use effect. We're going to talk about those three as well. But basically, state is like having a variable that can change. And each time this variable changes, it re-renders the page. So first we're going to start by doing is importing useState into React. So we're importing React up here, and we're just going to add a comma and do a named import to import useState. useState is basically a function, and I'll kind of explain that more as we go along. So we're going to start off with something very simple, just so I can show you kind of the difference between state and having a variable. So we can set up a state with const. So we can const, and then we have a pair of square brackets, and we have two things in here. We have what we want to call our piece of state, so we can call it count, and we have how the name we're going to use to change our count. Our state. So in this case, like, we would write set count, and we usually make the count, like the C in the count, uppercase. It's kind of like a convention. So count and set count. The way set count works is it allows you to change state. We're probably going to talk about that in the next video though. This video is just going to be a brief introduction to state. And so then we set this equal to use state, and what we do is we have a pair of brackets because it's a function. And here we pass in what we want our default or original state value to be. So in this case, we can just pass in, we want the count to start off as 0. Okay? Now, let's say we have an h1 here. Just put that in. And what we can do is put our count here and display it to the page. So if that just renders out, there we go. 0. So the unique thing about count is whenever it's going to change, it's going to re-render the page and we'll see the result instantly. But that's something we're going to talk about more in the next video when we talk about changing state. So right now I want to talk about different types of state. So we can see right here we stored a number in state. Well, you can store a bunch of different things. So let's just copy this out. I would recommend you guys type it if you're following along. So we'll call this one text, and we'll say set text. And so now you can also have a string inside of your state. Let's do another one. We can do an object, so we can call this one obj if we wanted to. You don't have to name them exactly how I am. You can literally name them whatever you want. And we can do set obj, and then we can have an object in here, and we can write, I don't know, name Luke, and we could have multiple elements in here. I'm just going to leave one for now. But yeah, so we can have objects, we can also have arrays. So we'll type one of those in. Const array set array equals useState, and then boom, array. And we can do 1, 2, 3, whatever. So yeah, this should show you that basically, state allows you to hold everything just like, variables do. We can render out all these things as well, so let's do that. Let's just go like this. Oh, okay. So we have count, we have our text, we have our object, and we have our array. Oh, object and array. So now if we take a look at this, we'll see everything render out onto the page. After it reloads, and just give it a second. Okay, objects are not valid React children if you return a call transaction. So basically what this is saying is I can't just render out the object. So this is another really important thing. You can select certain things out of objects to render as well. So I could render out object.name. And now this should work. There we go. 0 is our count. My text is our text. And then we have object.name. And we have our array. So yeah, this should kind of show you how state works. I really want to keep this video brief because I just kind of want to introduce you guys to state. It can be really overwhelming, and I want to keep the setting state in a separate video. But yeah, I hope you guys kind of got the hang of state in this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to help you guys out. And yeah, if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more like this one. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.